Get a load of this one. Think fast!
You think fast.
Up next, we're going to talk about some of the controversies associated with the Super Bowl. I am not a big football guy, but I did tune in for the big game last night, partly to watch the commercials and the halftime show and see all the hubbub because the actual game didn't end up being all that competitive or interesting. And one of those commercials did annoy me, and I went and found the full thing online, and we're going to discuss it. The NFL decided to promote the idea of girls flag football becoming a varsity sport nationwide in all 50 states. And I actually really have nothing against that idea. I think it's interesting. I just don't care that strongly about it one way or the other. If girls want to do it, power to you. If they don't, okay. But I have nothing against the idea, but the way they chose to go about it kind of pissed me off. And I think you'll understand why when you listen to this full ad. Take a listen.
School, son, school!
Jaworski, you're on thin ice, mister!
Hey, Principal P.
Stop kicking your principal. Everybody's on thin ice.
What's this? A Dorkosaurus Rex?
Come on, Chad. I don't want any trouble.
Leave him alone. I'll kick your butt, Chad.
Hey, Chad. Check out the new girl.
Ew, what is she wearing?
Girls don't play football.
They do where I'm from.
Get a load of this one. Think fast!
You think fast. Right in the Jimmy Johnson.
This ain't over.
We just getting started, Chad.
Get the flag!
Let's go, let's go! Get down, get down. Come on, there you go. Yeah.
Ooh, little girl bad. Oh!
Enough! Let's settle this once and for all. Your best guy?
Girl.
Whatever. Versus our best guy. The Brad.
Oh, not the Brad. I'm Brad.
I can read.
There you go. You got folded up, Brad.
Get her!
Okay. That's what I'm talking about.
So I actually like the end of the ad where they show girls competing against other girls. They make it seem really cool, look exciting and fun, and are like, oh, let's make this a thing. I have no issue with that. If people want to do that, great. I would maybe be interested in it a little bit, but it's not really for me or about me. Probably not really my cup of tea, but that's fine. Like, whatever, cool. What annoyed me about this is the way they had to make it like a kind of woke girl boss thing where men are crude and trash and like obnoxious and caricature them, which is just so like 2020 and doesn't really seem like the way to convince men and boys that they should support having this new thing. And then the kind of pseudo-scientific part of it, like having this girl dodge and flip in the air around like 10 male football players. It's like, obviously it's a commercial, so not everything has to be super realistic, but women aren't better than men at football. That's not a thing. And not everything about promoting women and girls has to be in opposition to men. It doesn't have to be about showing up men. We can do anything they can do in even better because they can't. And vice versa, there are lots of things women can do better than men or that men can't do at all, and that's all fine. Equal doesn't mean exactly the same in all ways. So that was the kind of issue I had with it. Like, why does it have to be promoted so oppositionally to men and boys? And also, if that's true, why are they promoting that girls play flag football in all 50 states instead of just football? Like, they're simultaneously trying to deny there's any difference and that girls can be even better than boys at this, but then also advocating for something incredibly different, implicitly acknowledging that distinction and difference. It just doesn't make sense to me. It felt like a unneeded error, and made me like, and I imagine many other people, feel resistant to something we otherwise wouldn't have been resistant towards. I saw these interesting tweets about this from a woman I follow on Twitter named Allie. As a woman, this should embarrass you. It's like adults letting a little kid win at a game so they feel good. Women's lives don't need to be lived in opposition to men. I'd love to see more women's sports, but not if we need imaginary enemies to beat. She continued, there are so many more arguments for women's sports than we can beat the stupid boys, right, ladies? Flag football is great, but now you've turned its image into something women do to prove themselves against men who never signed up to be the villain. So yeah, I mean, I wasn't horrified by this ad, I wasn't triggered by it, but it did rub me the wrong way, and it rubbed some other people the wrong way as well, which is why it's going viral right now in the aftermath of the Super Bowl. What did you think? Do you like the idea of flag football as a girls' sport in high school? And do you think the ad did an effective job at conveying support for this idea? Let me know in the comments. But speaking of things that are going viral after the Super Bowl, we're going to talk briefly about the right-wing online response to the halftime show performed by Kendrick Lamar. First, I'll say that I like Kendrick Lamar, some of his songs. I didn't think the performance was amazing in terms of the music, the vocals. It was hard to make out the words. He's not he's not singing or anything super impressive in that front, though I did think the performance was amazing in terms of the actual performance, the dancing, the coordinated movements, the displays, the colors, all of that I thought were really remarkable, but I wasn't wowed by the musical performance, to say the least. That said, some of the whining online from right-wing Twitter commentators and political commentators made me roll my eyes so hard I think I gave myself a little bit of a headache. For example, MAGA influencer Benny Johnson tweeted, "Hey NFL, Trump won. We are no longer letting talentless, mumbling, pagan, satanic cultists do halftime shows and pretend like people like it. Thanks, everyone." Dude, give me a break. You don't have to be into rap music. I'm not crazy about it. I dabble a little bit, but to call Kendrick Lamar, who's basically a poet and is an amazing lyricist, talentless is absurd. And to call that halftime show pagan or satanic or anything like that is completely unhinged and hysterical. If anything, it wasn't even particularly explicit or inappropriate compared to a lot of the halftime shows we've had in the past. You'd think conservatives would be glad there was way less sexual innuendo and provocative dancing or whatever, but they're still found a way to be mad about it. I mean, Kendrick Lamar is the only rapper to win a Pulitzer Prize for his lyric writing and his storytelling. You don't have to like his music, his message. You don't have to be into rap music generally. It's okay if it's not your thing. It's okay if you didn't like the halftime show. But to call this guy talentless is ridiculous. And the clutching of the pearls and calling stuff satanic and all that is just peak boomer conservatism. No offense to the boomers out there who are chill. Meanwhile, Jack Posobiec, the massive far-right influencer, tweeted, "DEI halftime show." Bruh. I hate this so much because I'm one of the people who's been criticizing and pushing back on DEI and a lot of these policies that are unfair and discriminatory and counterproductive in their own right. And the left-wing response is that, oh, well, when Republicans and conservatives say DEI, they just mean the N-word or they just hate black people or anything like that. And that's so not true for most of us making good faith criticisms. And you have people like this who it literally does seem just see a black person and start yelling DEI now. That is racist and that is irresponsible and reckless and callous. They did not put Kendrick Lamar on stage because he is black or because of his identity. They did it because he's an incredibly popular, successful, and award-winning rapper and lyricist. And maybe you think the performance was bad. That's fine. You're totally free to say that. But online conservatives have got to stop throwing around DEI like candy on Halloween. They're doing the same thing that the left did, where they called everything racist under the sun all the time. They're turning that into a caricature and draining it of its power and its usefulness, and actually playing into the hands of critics who want to dismiss the backlash or the criticism altogether with these kinds of out-of-touch tweets and takes.